Hello everyone and welcome to my Sister Wives Gossip. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. RHOA Kim Zolciak details traumatic marriage to Croy Beerman. RHOA alum Kim Zolciak is detailing her traumatic marriage to Croy Beerman. The two were married for over a decade before they called it quits, and it has been a disaster ever since. So, what is Kim saying now that the marriage is officially coming to an end? Keep reading for further details. Kim Zolciak's traumatic marriage to Croy Beerman. When Kim Zolciak met Croy Beerman, it was love at first sight, and right away viewers saw that. They got to witness the moment the two met and watched their courtship. Kim and Kroy tied the knot and even landed their own spin-off, Don't Be Tardy. Though he was younger than her, it did not faze him that she had two daughters from previous relationships. He embraced Ariana and Brielle and eventually adopted them. Kim and Kroy went on to have 4 more children together and truly seemed very happy. Unfortunately, his NFL career ended and their reality show was canceled. She also allegedly had a gambling problem, as well as a penchant for the lavish things in life. Therefore, they had money problems. They owed over $1 million to the IRS, and their Georgia mansion faced foreclosure. Though they have been able to dodge an auction, the couple filed for divorce in 2023, and it has been anything but amicable. The police have been called, but now, Kim has finally left the home. The police were called when Kim Zolciak was trying to leave their home. She had a moving truck that Kroy attempted to block with his car. Yet, he moved it when he was told to, and they did use the non-emergency line. She noted her estranged husband caused issues, and there's a track record of Kroy being the problem. Yet she hoped they could get along. Though Kim Zolciak claims that Croy Beerman is the problem, he has said the same thing about her. On September 9th, Kroy shared this of his ex. Despite all of this, Kim maintains that the years she was married to Kroy were torture. Furthermore, she added he was controlling but does not think he is capable of becoming a better person. Their Georgia mansion was scheduled for auction in early December, but that was allegedly postponed again. Yet, Kim was leaving their home, so it is unclear if she finally had enough and has found a new place to live. After years of putting on a brave face for the cameras, Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Kim Zolciak is finally opening up about what she calls the darkest chapter of her life, her crumbling marriage to former NFL star Croy Beerman. In a raw, emotionally charged interview that's shaking Bravo Nation to its core, Kim is breaking the silence on the trauma, isolation, and psychological warfare she says she endured behind the closed doors of their now infamous Atlanta mansion. I was trapped, she confessed. Trapped in a life that looked perfect on Instagram, but was tearing me apart inside. From fairy tale to free fall. When Kim met Kroy back in 2010, it felt like a whirlwind romance made for reality TV. Fans watched their love blossom on Don't Be Tardy, which chronicled their extravagant wedding, blending of their family and flashy lifestyle. But as Kim now reveals, the fairy tale started unraveling long before the cameras stopped rolling. Kroy was my everything. He was my rock, my protector, my provider, she said. But somewhere along the way, that shifted. Suddenly, I wasn't allowed to have friends. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere without him questioning me. He called it love. I now know it was control. Kim claims the emotional climate in their home grew increasingly toxic over the years. It wasn't yelling or fighting every day. That would have been easier to recognize. It was subtle. The way he'd isolate me from my family. The way he'd give me the silent treatment for days. It was psychological warfare. Financial fallout and public humiliation. As their finances spiraled out of control with reports of foreclosure, unpaid taxes, and mounting credit card debt, Kim says she felt like she was drowning. I didn't know what was happening with our money. He handled all of it, she said. When the foreclosure hit the news, I was blindsided. I felt like I'd been their downfall play out with a mix of shock and morbid fascination. From court documents to social media rants, Kim and Kroy's once idyllic marriage became tabloid fodder. What hurt the most wasn't the financial disaster, she admitted. It was the betrayal. I trusted Kroy with everything, my heart, my kids, my security, and all of that came crashing down. The kids in the middle. Perhaps most heartbreaking was watching their children, including Kim's daughters Brielle and Ariana, whom Kroy adopted, caught in the crossfire. There were nights I would cry myself to sleep because I didn't know how to shield them, she shared. I stayed longer than I should have because I thought keeping the family together was the right thing. But things eventually reached a boiling point. There were screaming matches, accusations slammed doors. The kids saw more than they should have, and that will haunt me forever. Now, amid a contentious divorce and custody battle, Kim says she's focused on rebuilding her relationship with her children. They've been through hell too, but we're healing together. Love bombing and gaslighting. Kim also touched on the manipulation she says defined much of her marriage. Kroy could be the most loving, attentive man when he wanted to be, but then he'd turn cold overnight. I was constantly trying to win back the version of him I fell in love with. She described classic patterns of love bombing followed by gaslighting. He'd shower me with affection and gifts, then act like I was crazy for questioning why he was controlling my phone calls or tracking my car. It messes with your head. Fans who once envied their lavish life, filled with Channel bags, versus China, and eyebrow-raising Amazon hauls, now look back with new eyes. We were bleeding money trying to keep up appearances, Kim admitted. But the bigger issue was that I didn't feel safe to speak up. I was afraid of what would happen if I did, why she stayed, and why she left. When asked why she didn't walk away sooner, Kim was brutally honest. I was scared of starting over, scared of what the world would say, scared of being alone. But eventually staying became more painful than leaving. I woke up one morning and realized I didn't recognize my life anymore. I was a prisoner in my own home, spiritually, emotionally, financially. That's when I knew I had to go. The decision to file for divorce, she says, was the hardest one she's ever made. It felt like I was letting go of a dream, but it was a dream that turned into a nightmare. A message to other women. Kim says she's speaking out now not for sympathy, but to help other women recognize the signs. It doesn't have to be bruises to be abuse. If you're constantly walking on eggshells, if you feel like you've lost your voice, that's not love. She encourages women to trust their intuition. If something feels wrong, it is. Don't wait for it to get worse. You deserve peace. You deserve freedom. What's next for Kim? Now living in a modest rental home with her daughters, Kim says she's focused on healing. I'm going to therapy. I'm rebuilding my confidence. For the first time in years, I can breathe. She hasn't ruled out returning to television, but says it would have to be on her terms. I'm done performing for the cameras. If I come back, it'll be as the real me, flaws and all. As for love, it's not on my radar right now, she laughed. My relationship with myself comes first. The final word. Through tears and grit, Kim Zolciak is reclaiming her narrative. Her journey from Bravo royalty to a woman rising from the ashes is one of heartbreak, but also one of strength.